The Democrats don't have anything. They're responsible for the lockdowns, forced vaccinations, kids being forced to stay home, people committing suicide, and all the horrors that this country lived through during COVID.
Absolutely everything is the Democrats' fault. My car got towed the other day and it's the fault of Joe Biden. That was the worst member of Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, throwing a tantrum filled with profanity in the halls of Congress. This is only a few hours after she made a total fool of herself on the House floor while Dr. Anthony Fauci was testifying. But let's watch her meltdown and let's break it down.
In that room? No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true.
Okay, I'm gonna stop her right there. She said all of the evidence has been proven to be true, but nothing she said on the House floor was true. Let's start off with the obvious. She kept calling Dr. Fauci Mr. Fauci, and then she was corrected on the House floor as somebody said he is actually Dr. Fauci.
Mr. Fauci, because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes.
Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Marjorie Taylor Greene then said Dr. Fauci should be prosecuted and be in prison for crimes against humanity, but failed to detail how Dr. Fauci committed any crimes whatsoever. We basically have a QAnon conspiracy theorist on the House floor spouting her conspiracy theories for all to hear, and then all of the mainstream media is platforming her without debunking anything in detail. It's actually infuriating. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was also spreading conspiracy theories about COVID and conspiracy theories about Dr. Fauci funding some research that hurt dogs, which I've dug into. It is a straight up conspiracy theory meant to discredit Fauci, but animals are being tortured and killed en masse every day. So if Marjorie Taylor Greene still wants to post pictures of her grilling out and then fake outrage about a conspiracy regarding Dr. Fauci, then it's just more hypocrisy on her end. But back to her meltdown.
We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump, worshiping as a convicted felon. He is a convicted felon. Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the fucking country over George Floyd, and Raskin is in there saying we worship him.
Okay, so a few things to break down. First of all, MAGA obviously worships Donald Trump. I mean, they follow him around the country and go to his rallies. They wear MAGA shirts, MAGA hats, fly flags, put stickers on their trucks. They've compared him to Jesus. They have literally made golden statues. They raided the Capitol for the guy. Over and over, we have seen them worship Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene included, on Twitter all the time throughout his convictions, throughout all of his scandals. She worships him, and then for her to turn around and say she only worships God, she doesn't worship Donald Trump, is honestly laughable. I mean, literally everybody in the MAGA cultist fan base are going to vote for him whether he is in jail or not, and have said they're okay with him being a day one dictator. The rhetoric that they allow from Donald Trump is inexcusable, but they worship him. And also, nobody was worshiping George Floyd or putting him on a pedestal or making him seem like some beacon of morality. He was just a prime example of this broad pattern of black people being treated unfairly and killed by our police force and there being no justice. And it was caught on camera. It was a prime example, and that's why it blew up, not because we worshipped George Floyd in the way that they worship Donald Trump. The two situations really don't have anything to do with each other. The only reason Marjorie is bringing that up is because a few-year anniversary just came up for George Floyd's death.
Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God. And Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats.
The Republicans are the ones that literally keep having these meetings and forming special counsels to investigate Joe Biden or Dr. Fauci. The Republicans are the ones that keep throwing tantrums on the House floor, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, who started that spat a few weeks ago with Representative Jasmine Crockett. So for Marjorie Taylor Greene to say she's sick of dealing with BS from the Democrats is just incredibly rich. I can't tell if she's actually that separated from reality or if it's an act she puts on for her fans and for her constituents. I can't tell how any of us benefit from having her in Congress, but back to the meltdown.
So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there? whoever was talking last was calling me insane, but yet we can't say, oh, they're attacking my character. Oh no, it's nonstop BS and annex. You want to know why? The Democrats don't have anything. They're responsible for the lockdowns, forced vaccinations, kids being forced to stay home, people committing suicide, and all the horrors that this country lived through during COVID. Fauci belongs in prison. He should be tried for mass murder, and he should be tried for crimes against humanity. That's how I feel after that hearing. That's how the American people feel.
First of all, Donald Trump was the president during the vast majority of the time we were locked down. He was also the one that created Operation Warp Speed to fast track the COVID vaccine and make sure we had a vaccinated populace. But now he gets booed off stage every time he flaunts the vaccine that he created because people like Marjorie Taylor Greene so distrust with rhetoric like that. And also, the vast majority of the COVID deaths happened under Donald Trump. So most of the horrors that Americans experienced, as Marjorie Taylor Greene puts it, was because of Donald Trump and his lackluster response to COVID. He did nothing over the first few months, then constantly downplayed it, telling us it'll be gone soon, it'll be gone soon. Meanwhile, telling people like Bob Woodward that it was a massive threat and really, really deadly. We had to beg him to wear masks in public or publicly promote these safety measures that scientists agreed on, and he very reluctantly wore masks every once in a while. Then he showed up to the debate as a super spreader and almost killed President Biden because he tested positive with COVID after. I mean, just a complete mess. Rachel Vindman on Twitter said, I like to think every human life has value and worth, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is a glaring exception. Larry Sabato said, there are dozens of U.S. House members in contention for worst member ever, but after her disgraceful thrashing of the distinguished Dr. Anthony Fauci today, Marjorie Taylor Greene is several lengths ahead of anyone else on the racetrack. And I totally agree. Marjorie is disrespectful, she's disgraceful, and she's an embarrassment. For a little bit of a palate cleanser, here's Jared Moskowitz roasting her after she melted down on the House floor.
Mr. Chairman, Dr. Fauci, good to be with you here today. I was not here, but I saw a member of this committee questioned whether or not you represent science and tried to make that in some offensive way. I just want you to know most Americans don't think she represents Congress.
So one of the things I've learned.
So I hear now you double Fauci. So I don't want you to be offended by that.
A great burn from Jared Moskowitz, and I doubt Dr. Fauci was too offended. I mean, it's incredibly disrespectful, but he's had a long and successful career, and Marjorie Taylor Greene will never take that away from him. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment a blue heart if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, have a great day yourself.